him, and no better person to work with than Johnny I. We'll miss Johnny.
Yeah, I know. It's just amazing how when you look at someone like Johnny, the way he rose up doing so many different things
Every
here
job
at the track.
you could at this place, right?
Yeah,
he did.
And just ended up being an amazing
them
track
well.
announcer too, yeah.
And he got his chance to finally be the guy, and he had obviously backed up for many, many years, but to finally get his chance in the sun. My favorite Johnny I moment, and I think one of his happiest moments, was when Mariano Rivera came to Saratoga. And I think it was a Monday. It wasn't even that crowded a day, and Johnny I got to MC the Mariano Rivera thing, and that was, I don't think I've ever seen him happier than doing that.
I would think
Big
that would
Yankee
probably
fan
make
that
him
he
very
was.
happy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty great. Anyway, we got kick off the week. I have an 8-race card. You should head over to Naira Bets. Use the promo code Derby25. We will match for $200 initial deposit and give you a $25 Derby bet. My throat's getting a little weird here. Should have brought some water with me. I'm sure I'll persevere, though. We have track stats. Head over to Naira Bets. When you're there signing up, you'll use the track stats as well. We also have a $20 bonus. I believe you bet 100 or more at Aqueduct and Keeneland today. Get a $20 bonus. Keeneland meet ends on tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Tomorrow, actually. I was just looking at the weather for right now. The weather throughout the week, heading up and through the Derby, is projected to be very nice, warm and nice, as the Derby will be drawn on Saturday. Derby is going to be drawn Saturday evening between races 3 and 4 at Churchill Downs. They will draw the Oaks and Derby. I imagine the cards will be drawn early in the day without the 2 big races, and they'll add them during the show. So get those PPs out late on Saturday. We have Friday contests. Yes, the contests are back on Saturdays. And you can have the feeder contests are back in, $40 buy-in on Fridays to get a seat, earn a seat on that. You can register now at naira.com/contest. And I believe we've changed it slightly. You have until, I think, the 3rd race on Friday to sign up for this one, and then until the 3rd race on Saturday to sign up for the bigger one if you're not able to qualify. But glad to see the contests are back at Naira Bets, playing those contests through Naira Bets, and you'll have until the 3rd race tomorrow to sign up. And finally, last, and I'm not going to say it's least, but 1 to 5, the big news and the great news for me is Greg Wolf is back. So I don't have to pay attention anymore. I don't have to host. So 1 to 5 today. Covering the action, race number 1, scratch of Chalky Cat in the first race, and the horse to beat is obviously the horse of the outside, Lucency. We'll take a look at his good effort 2 back. I don't disagree with you, Paul. He's the horse to beat. I'm a little suspect of this drop down off his last effort.
I don't know, sometimes you do see Rick Dutrow do these kind of drops. I just feel like with this horse,
You see every trainer do these types of
yeah,
drops.
that is true. That's a good point. I mean, his last race, I just kind of feel like
I don't know if it's random, but when we lose sound, it's always when I'm talking. Maybe it's because I talk too much, or maybe it's something else. But it's a good thing we're back, because our TD Eddie was in danger of losing a finger if we didn't get back
I wish
on
it was a
soon.
more interesting story of what happened. It's just that we
Just-
lost
we're
Mike's.
back.
Yeah, we're back.
So anyway, I don't listen. Lucency's the horse to beat. There's no argument against it. It's just a question of whether or not you're too scared of the drop down and you want to pick somebody else. And for me, I just didn't want to take him at even money, but I'm not. I don't have any big argument against him. I just feel like it's a bit of a rush. He finally got to break his maiden. He ran really well 2 back. And listen, as you say, he made a bit of a middle move last time. The rail was a bit of an advantage last time. He wasn't on the inside, so he didn't even run that badly. And now he drops like this. It makes me worry a little bit that there's a hole that's about ready to appear.
It could. I just feel like the field was a lot tougher than his. And I like the outside post from today. I just think he sees things better, too, from the outside today.
Yeah, I think that you're talking about intangibles that don't really matter. Because there's really only one question, whether or not you trust him or not.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to, because I don't think there's any argument that he's way the horse to beat. Yeah. He is a legitimate even money shot if you feel he can run back to his race 2 back. Even last time, he's way the horse to beat. So I'm not against that. I went to Andy Cant, who I don't love, but he's got plenty of figures that are fast enough. It's not like the Atras barn hasn't done well. Now, Rob has bad numbers with maidens off the claim. So you can say, but he did claim this horse at 1-5 last time, knowing full well he was likely to win and get out of the maiden company, and probably knowing if he didn't win the last race, he didn't want him. And this horse had some ability at one time. He finally got it done. He ran respectably. And these are the kind of horses sometimes that move forward. He'd be a bit of a price because I just didn't love any. I think Masterwork is dangerous. I think he's better at a mile than a mile and 1/8, so I like the cutback. David Aragona made a reasonable case to me when we were talking about barnstorming in his last race. I'm just not his biggest fan, but he can win. And I thought Andy Camp might be one with a little upside off the claim.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was a lot of 6s and 5s. I thought Eric Cancel gave Barnstorming a really good ride last time, too. What a blast wire.
Yeah, I don't think he did anything wrong, and I just thought, maybe closing into a loose speed that day, and it was his day. But I don't know. I've seen a lot of Barnstorming. Having said that, if Lucency doesn't win, I don't think there's a big case against at least the 3, 4, and 5, maybe even the 2. Race number 2, I like Starship Defiant quite a bit in this race. I almost changed my picks. I've got Proudfoot. We'll take a look at her race, I think 2 back, when she finished second to Lilu. She's supposed to be in a good spot. I almost went Everyone Loves Linda, who I think is the speed of the speed. Yeah. But I thought Proudfoot's just a better horse, and she's not going to be compromised because she's going to be right on Everyone Loves Linda. I'm going to take the forwardly placed horses with Starship Defiant out of this race. You, on the other hand, like I'm Buzzy, who we'll get to a video of hers. Do you have a knock on this horse, or you just wanted somebody else?
No, I just wanted somebody else, but I have this horse second in here, so I think this horse can win. I feel like Lilu was just better that day.
Lilu is better.
Yeah,
she's better than
just
horses.
dueling that day. So, and I think, on March 17th, too, may have been up against it, too, because the rail was good and just didn't really see the rail either. So I really have no problems with either the 4 and the 6 in here, to be honest. I feel like the 4 is going to be on top of the 5 like you, and
I think
get a first run.
I'd like to see Eric. We'll take a look at I'm Buzzy beating Everyone Loves Linda close, Nicey Rapaya close third. I thought that Everyone Loves Linda ran the better race in here. That was my feeling, because she really did get involved the whole way. And I thought there's an argument that she really stepped forward when Linda claimed her. I know it was, and I'm sorry, this wasn't for Linda. This was for Rick Dutrow. Now it's Linda, excuse me.
And I just feel like, too, in that race, too, with Buzzy, too, that cut her down late. I mean, she took all the heat, too, from It Takes Heart and everything in that race,
what I
too.
thought.
And I just, at the end of the day, I just didn't know if she was fast enough to beat horses like Proudfoot and I'm Buzzy in here, and that was just my biggest knock.
She almost beat her here.
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like at the end of the day, I just thought there was going to be a little bit of speed on here. Now, listen, with Starship Defiant out, it took a little bit of that speed away.
Yes.
So I probably should have changed my picks in retrospect, but I'll still give I'm Buzzy a chance.
Yeah, I do think I'm Buzzy is better at 6 furlongs than a mile. I know she won that race in a mile. I still think she's a better closing sprinter than she is stretching it out. She's obviously dangerous in here. Race changed for me without the 4. And I'd like to make a case for the 2. You have third, I have her fourth. But I'm afraid that from a pace perspective, she's a bit compromised. But she is a horse that on her good days is capable of running fast enough to win this race.
Oh, without a doubt. And she gets away from the stakes types, too, in here and drops back down a little bit into this class.
I've always liked her. She's a pretty cool horse.
Yeah.
I think I had my bigger wins of the year last year when she won the 8th race. Race number 3, I saw this race as wanting to pick against First Class Cat, who you have 4th and I have 3rd, off this last race. Now, listen, she got a big figure last time. And the truth is, The horse that won ran a 71 buyer and then a 68 buyer. Though I think she was coming off a layoff, Dazzy.
Dazzy was, I think,
I'm not sure, but and they did beat the rest of the field quite easily. But where did this figure come from, and how reliable is First Class Cat's running again? You like her less than I do. I think she's a must-use. I just didn't want to put her on top.
I just wasn't crazy about the fact that Dazzy came back and took the lead from her again in here. And listen, I think she's also going to end up taking money at the end of the day here too with the rider switch to Dylan Davis too. So I wonder.
Dazzy was a big favorite though, right?
In that race, I think Dazzy was a favorite.
And she was the speed.
Yeah, so I don't know. At a short price, I just didn't want any bit of this horse today. Now, listen, I think the horse can win, but I'm just not sure that 67 is a valid.
Right, but she's 2-1, and the horse you picked on top is 5-2. So it's not like you're picking a horse at a considerably better price.
But I think Franny Lou at least has the excuse last time that she ran against the bias that was out too in the previous 3 starts before that. Puts this horse square in the mix in here.
Except the winner, Velouse, was outside last time. I agree with you that she was a little against it last time, but so was Velouse.
Well, Velouse has turned things around a little bit too
She
recently.
has. No,
so
I don't disagree.
I feel like that's just a better. I don't know. For me, I just would rather have Franny Lou over.
I think the argument for Franny Lou is that she has consistently run figures that are better than First Class Cat, save First Class Cat's last race. So while First Class Cat sort of stands as a one-figure horse, at least Franny Lou is more reliable. And as you say, against a little bit last time, so maybe that 51 comes up a little low, and she's just better than that. I don't have an argument against her. I picked her second. I just thought Leadership Ability was the other horse, and she'd be a better price. I do not trust Leadership Ability at all. She was against the track last time, wide against that gold rail, and we've seen repeated horses that had wide trips run significantly better in their next starts. She was also ease, so significantly better might be only beaten 30.
Yeah, as opposed to...
And I don't trust her having been claimed away from Chad Brown. And when she won at Saratoga, that arguably was a very speed-friendly racetrack she was on. So it's not clear how good she really is. But if you're going to go against the 6, your options are the 3 and 5. And if I'm going to go against the 6, why am I taking a horse that's going to be a similar price than her? I might as well get a better price. So I went to Leadership Ability without a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I have this horse second in here. I just don't know what to do. But off the ease line, we've seen horses actually come back and run well a few times off ease lines, and then also against tracks that they were up against, because the biases do matter at the end of the day.
But something obviously went wrong. We haven't seen her for over 3 months. Race number 4, I thought race number 4 was a bit of a head scratcher. You have taken the number 3 higher quality on top.
Just dropping in class. It's just been the most consistent horse from a figure standpoint. Just run against better horses, too, I feel like. But I do feel like, in a way, though, this horse is a little bit of a grinder sometimes. So I'm not sure how this race is going to stack up for this horse, but just from a perspective of figures and numbers and on the drop and running more
plenty of races better than this.
that can win this race.
I don't disagree with you. I think he's a very logical horse in here. I picked him second. I don't want to take these connections. It was short.
Yes,
I know David's got them 8-1. Is he really going to be 8-1 here?
I was hoping for like 4.
Yeah,
I was thinking he's going to be like a 4-1
I feel
horse
like
in here.
that's a hard price for him to be. Jacobson does scratch the 1A and run the 1. I'm not a big fan of Digital, though I guess he's not impossible here. I've got him third. I think the horse you have to ask yourself about is Rockin' and Roll, and we'll show the last race. I mean, this was a horrifically bad field that he beat Union Lights. When you see him in there, you know he didn't beat anybody. He was a big drop down. He has the races to win it, but he's got to get a 1 1/8. And as much as I respect and like Mike Maselli, I don't like horses claimed from Brad Cox.
Yeah, this is a tough claim off of. And the thing is, too, we saw the race on Sunday when we were on with Disappearance, won that race at a huge price, and Union Lights got a bad bob in there, too. But, I mean, are any of those horses really that
these
good?
horses are significantly better.
These are significantly better. And I'm not sure the 2 turns is going to be good after this horse got a real easy lead last time. So, I don't know.
It's not getting a lead in here.
Yeah.
I don't think.
With the scratches, I ended up with this horse third because I had the 5 in there and I had the 1A too. So I ended up using this horse third.
I don't like or trust Candy Tycoon. I think he is extremely suspect. But I kind of like the idea that Rudy is raising him up. And this is a situation where Louis Rivera just has to go.
Yeah.
Just send him. He is not winning this race rating.
No.
But if Louis sends him, he's fast enough to be in front of this field. And if they use his speed, he can get in front of him. And I think there's a chance if they get in front of the field, he could just forget to stop, as they say. So I'm going to take a chance that they send him in this race. If they don't, I don't believe he's winning. But I think there is an opportunity for them to be aggressive here. And I don't want Rock and Roll. I don't want Digital. So I'm left with the 3 and 4. You got the 3. I got the 4.
Yeah, and I also think, and I don't have the 4 in there because I just wondered if they were going to be aggressive and get the lead from Rocket and Roll in here, because
he's faster than
he
Rocket.
is faster than him. But now it's just a question of whether or not it actually materializes.
I think he needs to.
I think he needs to. But that's his only way to win, I think, in here is just to go to the
believe
front.
it is.
Yeah.
And I hope that they see the thing the same way. We'll see what happens. That's the first 4. The late pick 5, which includes a couple late pick 4, a couple turf races. Back after a quick break.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Paul Verderosa and Andy Serling as we attack the late pick 4 here, race number 5. And we both did not want to take Smoky Eyes. And we'll take a look at Smoky Eyes' last race. And I will say one thing. She runs this race. She's going to win this race. She was purchased by, I got to tell you something. Is this the first time we've seen a Resolute racing horse here? This is John Stewart, right?
Yes.
Not the comedian.
Not the comedian.
Though he plays one on Twitter.
Yeah. I don't remember if there's been one here. I don't think so, right? I haven't seen one this winter.
Maybe, but it just occurred.
Yeah.
I think I know one horse we've seen that he has a piece of, just a touch, I think.
Yeah.
But
Solo.
this is his first solo and gone to Bill Mott. Either Christophe Clement really, you can't say he made. He made a mistake if this horse is a good dirt horse. And listen, this horse runs that last race. This horse is going to win this race. I just want to see it again, Paul.
I just, based on the way the rest of the field ran after that, I would like to see it again, just because they've regressed from 2 to 26 points amongst them.
The
so I think that's
colors
a
ran
concern.
okay.
But but I will say this though. When you look at Bill Mott, he's got good numbers. Doing these kind of.
What kind of?
7 for 20.
I hate it when you say these kind of.
I know, because you want me to explain
Say it.
I say it. All right, 7 for 20, first off the trainer switch on dirt in routes, 11 in the money. But
what's the ROI?
The ROI I did not write down. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. Do you want to take my
busy?
pinky? Do you want to take my pinky?
You
want to take my pinky?
You were too busy to write the ROI
sorry,
down?
no, I wrote the whole thing
what
down
happened?
with the ROI.
Somebody called or something?
Yeah, I must have got
a
a text. I'm sorry. But in that situation with good numbers, it's just hard to trust this horse based on what happened with the field.
And where did it come from? And the other problem I have with it is, I know the figures look okay. This horse was bad last year. This horse had some real potential after her 2-year-old year. She ran some really good races on the turf.
Yeah.
I thought that race in the Tepin, was it, where she ran second, she ran well. I thought her Chelsea Flower was good. And I really thought this was a New York bred. Obviously I was wrong, but based on those races, there was every reason to believe going into last year, this could be a competent New York bred, maybe even a New York bred stakes horse moving forward.
Yeah.
And she just never improved at all. She got worse.
Yeah, she did.
So suddenly on the dirt, she can run. Now, her other dirt race is a muddy off the turf race, and it was a muddy sealed track, so maybe she hated it. And maybe Christophe was wrong all along, but then they sold her. They put her in the sale, and they sold her. And listen, 140 seems like a pretty good price. She's probably got some value. She got as a broodmare, so it's not a massive score, but they sold her. And suddenly she showed she could run in the dirt. They didn't want to give her another chance in the dirt. I just got a bad feeling about this horse.
I don't know. I have her third in here, and listen,
she could win.
But she's going to be 3 to 5 in here.
She's going to be a very. And you know what? I'm not sure she's not supposed to be, because if she runs anywhere close to it, because the horses that we picked are pretty bad. Let's be fine. Let's be fair. This horse, well, Scoring Chance will show her maiden win. This was riding a gold rail against a terrible field, and she didn't take a nickel that day. And on a gold rail, she ran a 66 buyer. So you can say that the figure's phony for Smoky Eyes. Let's say it's 15 points too high, and she runs a 62. How confident are you that Scoring Chance is going to beat her with a 62?
I'd like to give Scoring Chance just a shot on a fast track again, going a mile.
I agree, but she was on a gold rail here.
No,
I mean,
listen,
she had a great trip.
She had
First time started with IRAD in a terrible field, didn't take a nickel. And I picked her.
I did too.
She may just be nothing.
Listen, and she was scratched here in March too, so that's something to think about too. I
She's
don't know.
the best alternative.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to give her a chance in here, just going a mile on a fast track, because she just didn't look comfortable last time either.
That's fine.
With that muddy track, and it was a tougher group than this.
She had no chance in the race last time. The fact that she was 7-2 was laughable.
Yeah.
She should have been 20-1 in that race. Anybody who liked her last time is not paying attention. She had no chance in that race. This is an easier race because Rain Chicken Shigeko. We've seen them. No disrespect, and Levon. No disrespect, they aren't very good.
No
disrespect meant they just are who they are. And Echo in Eternity, I mean, I'm sorry, where is her good race? She's a natural last time.
Yeah, which is not good. I mean, she ran against much better horses before that.
Wasn't this the race where the Chad Brown horse was a 6-5 favorite and ran last?
Yeah.
So
listen, she's got to get faster, but at least she beat that group last time. I mean, I'll give her that. I mean,
you and I in a horse suit might have been able to beat him.
I understand, and at least there's a good work coming into this too. Listen, make no mistake about it. I mean, I just was.
She can win.
Yeah, I just really just wanted. My main thing here was I was against Smoky Eyes, and my only other alternative was Scoring Chance to win this race.
I agree with you. I picked her. I'm not. I'm
know.
not disagreeing with that notion, but.
It's just tough to take.
I wish I felt like I was more confident that our horse could run. I'm not overly confident she's much horse.
Nah.
And she might be a 58 buyer horse, in which case Smoky Eyes is still probably going to beat her. Smoky Eyes might run a 63 buyer in here and win this race by 2 lengths. That's the problem. Even though I agree with you, I still think you're supposed to bet against her here. So it's a conundrum. The turf, we lost Rivalita, who I liked in here, actually. So, okay, Christophe. So because I told Christophe he made a mistake entering here as opposed to the stake. You would have won the Plenty Grace. I think you've figured that out by now, given the debacle that turned into.
Yeah.
No worse than second. And the good news for him is he's only going to have to face one Chad Brown because Revelita was a vet scratch in here. We'll take a look at Silver Skullet running really well in the Winter Memories when she was second to Sacred Wish, who's good.
Yeah.
This was such a rail race. Everybody that was effective in here was on the inside, and to be fair, she easily beat Tax Implications. But Tax Implications, obviously, something went wrong in here.
Yeah.
And she wasn't that wide. Something went wrong, and she was laid up after that race. So I'm not going to say it was all against her. She's going to be forward here, but isn't there a lot more speed in this race than there was in the Plenty of Grace?
I mean, you would think.
The 1, the 4.
Yeah.
I mean, Spooky Lady's going, I think in time, is going to be a little forward in here. Silver Skillet, I guess, fitting third probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to have a target today, I would think, and because for sure Spooky Lady is going
She's pretty good, though, to be fair.
Yeah, no, listen, she ran fine last year, Silver Skillet, too. I mean, those open races weren't bad either. I know the Winter Memories was with the track, and in the Pebbles, too.
She's had very, very delicious trips in her races.
I mean,
now, she may get another one here, but you can't just assume they're going to get them. But obviously, with the scratches, she's helped. Now, here is Tax Implications finishing second to Lake George to the eventual Grade 1 winner, Surge Capacity, who got very unlucky at the break in her return race in the Jenny Wiley. And she's the Clarvitz to finish second on the outside. What concerns me a little with her and why I picked Rivalita is I don't like the 3 seconds. But she lost to Surge Capacity, Liguria. They're pretty good horses.
Yeah, and the problem is, too, when a lot of these Chad Brown horses, they run against their stable mates, and they're good, So sometimes
Surge is very good.
Yeah, you just have to run up against, who you're against.
Do you know Surge is a half-sister, too?
Surge Capacity? Yeah.
I'll give you one of them. One of them is highly motivated.
Okay.
The other one's running the other one's running next Friday.
All right.
Ways and Means.
Well, Ways and Means. That's right. In the Oaks. Yeah.
Her dam actually broke her maiden for Clarvitz Stables on a $75,000 maiden claimer, and nobody took her. I believe she sold for just over $1 million at the broodmare sale I want to say Alpha Delta, somebody told me has her.
Okay.
She's been an
She's,
incredible
super
producer.
horse, yeah.
And she's going to have a Kentucky Oaks winner after next
Yeah.
Friday, I'm hoping.
So, yeah, in tax implications case, I mean, I like this horse anyway to,
I think she's
to
very
start.
good.
I think she was tough in here. She's run the fastest race. And also, she didn't have to launch from as far back as Revelita does either. So originally, I had an 8-3 in here because I just figured she would sit a better
I
trip on the
preferred
outside.
Revelita, who I thought had some ability, was against the track in some of her
Yeah.
races, and she had a better post. But now with the scratches,
Yeah,
I've got
I mean, I just think,
tax.
yeah.
One of these two. Is
Yeah, one of these
supposed
two
to win
is
this race.
supposed to win
It's
this race. Yeah, I
very
agree.
hard to
although,
see.
Although I will say, I do think Brombeek's a cool horse, despite being one for its
But she wants more distance.
Yeah, wants to go longer for sure.
Mile 16
yeah.
is too short for her. She wants more distance.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's going to get, and she's sort of pace compromised, at least by Silver Skillet, race number 7. The horse that I really don't like in race number 7 is the horse that you have on top.
Ooh, can I win my $10 back maybe?
Sure.
5 or 6?
Well, you got an 8-5 shot versus a 5-1
all
shot.
right.
I know I look stupid, not that stupid.
4 versus 6?
Though I am going to make a bet with my friend Steve Christ, who has a returnee in race number 6.
Oh, okay.
Snow Evening. After Steve got the Mets home yesterday, because he's a huge San Francisco Giants fan, he announced that they're a terrible team to me on the phone.
Oh, so that's why they got the win.
If I had a betting account, I would have bet them. It was right before the game was starting. We were joking around. And I looked up their over-unders, and going into the season, the Giants were 83.5, the Mets were 81.5, so I'm going to have to bet them $100 today that the Mets will have a better record than Giants. I have to have a little rivalry with Steve.
I think the Mets will end up with a better record than the Giants. For sure.
I mean, they're projected to be 2 games worse. So
Yeah,
I don't
but
really
I still think
that,
the Mets will end up with a better
Yeah, well,
record.
you're probably a Mets fan, so I don't really think you're.
No, I am, but in the West, they got to play the Dodgers, the Padres all the time. So
But
I mean,
that's incorporated in the over/under.
Yeah, so that's what no, I know, but I'm just
You know,
saying.
the Mets have to play Atlanta. They don't suck either.
Yeah, but you know what? The Mets seem to play their better baseball against better teams. Look what they just did to the Dodgers last week.
Or maybe the Dodgers kind of sucked too. I have a
don't
feeling the Docs are going to get it together. But anyway,
I don't
forgetting
know.
about all
Yeah.
of that, here is Lake Abenaki's maiden win 2 weeks ago. 12 days ago. Why would you possibly want her at a short price?
Listen, I'm not going to lie. This horse got a really good trip.
How
and
good a friend of Robbie Falcone's are you?
I'm just saying this
No,
horse.
I want you to answer that question. How good a friend are you and Robbie?
I think other than saying hello, we've never really spoke.
Really?
So
I'm
yeah,
not- Robbie, is this true?
I'm pretty sure.
I want to know.
I'm
okay.
pretty sure. No, listen, I think that this horse, I mean, I know this horse got a sweet trip, and listen, I mean, I understand that the Brad Cox horse that ran second was getting a little tired and ran this horse down. But
She's a heavy favorite first
yeah,
time
1 to
starter.
2. Yeah, I mean, so but
An
is it-
Eastern Star, as we all know, is nothing if not a star.
Yeah, it just ends up hitting
Not
the board
just
all
on
the
the
time.
East Coast,
yeah.
but really everywhere.
Yeah, just ends up hitting the board 6 out of 8 starts. Isn't this horse going to pull the same trip in here today?
I don't know what that means. You
Well-
told me a horse was going to win the other day because it was going to get a good trip. It didn't.
No, think about it. All right, so you've got Highway Harmony, who's probably going to go. George's Vice has some speed in here. Photo Finish will probably be laying in third. This horse is going to get a good trip again behind whatever
Well,
speed
Highway
is in here.
Harmony's not a speed, but if you're picking 8 to 5 shots because you think they're going to get good trips,
Does this
you're on
horse really have to
drugs.
improve off that number, though, to win this race?
No, but I want to see it again 2 weeks later. I just want to see it again. I would never bet a
enough.
horse like this to come back in under 2 weeks to win a non-winners of 1. I just never would do it.
Fair enough.
This horse wins, I lose. And by the way, my 4th pick in here is the 5. I am 6-3-1-A-5.
Okay.
For people that want my 4th pick in case they want to bet supers. That's why we put them up, guys, by the way, not because we're looking to take credit for our 4th pick
want
winning.
to, you know.
But when you find me doing that, by the way, feel free to punch me in the face. Anyway, I don't like this horse at all. Okay, here's the bet I'm going to make you. I'm going to give you way the best of it. Way the best of it. Okay. I will take 20 to 10 that both City Blocks and the 6 beat this horse and Easy Play beat this
That
horse.
they both beat
Both
this horse?
beat 'em. I will take 2 to 1.
I don't think the 6 is going to beat the 5, so I will take that.
I think they both. Okay, so you're 20 to 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I always pay.
I'm
I
giving
paid
you
last
way
time.
the best.
Yeah, no,
of it,
I paid
but
you last time.
I
so-
think when the 5 finishes last, it won't really matter.
No, 5's not finishing last. Come on.
So as far as City Blocks, who I was going to pick on top, but I just decided not to. I'm not really sure why I didn't, actually. I kind of switched my picks. I was between these two. Here's my feeling of City Blocks. Source did not handle the wet track last time.
I agree.
Source did not run her race at all. And I thought the race we're looking at here is good enough to win. I thought she ran well. She beat some hot firsters in there. Peony came back and improved her Buyer figure 7 points in 2 races later. I thought this was an okay race. I like her, Freddie Barker. As far as easy play, I had kind of given up on easy plays, but I don't think you can argue against the fact that this is the softest New York bred non-winners of one that she has been in ever. I mean, this is a very soft bunch.
Yeah, last
and
time
she's a
was
multiple
much
winner.
softer, yeah.
I don't know if her form has eluded her, but she has run races that make her fast enough to win, so I'm going to take her. What is your George's Vice story?
George's Vice would be forward in here, and I think it's.
Well, you told me it was going to be a fast pace there, so why do you want a forward horse?
No, I think this horse is going to be forward in here, and listen.
She is.
I know that this horse has gotten beaten twice last time out, but I don't think last time was indicative of the way this horse can run. So the horse ended up being a little bit wide around the track, and today I think if the horse actually breaks, because the horse didn't break that well last time either.
Here's the argument for George's Vice. I'll make it for you. The argument for George's Vice is Linda claimed this horse for $40,000. She won a maiden 30. She even dropped into a maiden 16, a claiming 16, which is the right move, up a maiden 30 win, and won. And now she runs the horse that tries a non-winners of one, and the horse stinks. Sloppy sealed track, but stinks. So, okay, gives it another chance at a non-winners of one. Doesn't do any real running. The vast majority of the time, this horse would be back in for 16 for Linda. Yet she decides to try the horse in another New York bred non-winners of one. Linda Rice is telling you, I think this horse can run. She's no moron by any stretch of the imagination. She's not looking to run where she thinks her horse run competitive. Yet on paper, save one figure, this horse is pretty uncompetitive here. But Linda clearly thinks that she is. So I think it's the same thing I talked about with Equitize last Saturday. When good trainers are acting like their horses are better than they look on paper, be careful.
Yeah.
Because they're good trainers for a reason. I was talking about Mott and Channelmaker, how one of the things that attracted me to Channelmaker before he ever won a Grade 1 was the incredible confidence that Mott was showing with him. And I think when good, smart trainers that win races show more confidence in a horse than maybe the horse appears to deserve, sometimes there's a reason. So, and she'll be a price. Race number 8. Race number 8's a fun race, right?
Yeah.
The 11 gets in Spiranak. You know, Curtis is not riding. You know why? He's the English rider, right? He was riding at Fairgrounds.
Yeah, Irish was riding at Fairgrounds, yeah.
Do you know why he didn't ride this horse?
Was he not able to?
He was at Churchill working Honor Marie, who worked 59-2, I think, this morning.
Okay.
So he did not make it for your man. So wait, so yes, in the 8 horses, one of them's Romero. And
Romero's on the 11, Lane Luzzie's on the 8.
Lane Luzzie's on the 8.
Yeah.
And you have gone to Can't Call It, who I agree with is very dangerous.
Yeah, I just think is dangerous based, let alone on the field that this horse came out of. A horse like Coldwell.
That was a dirt race, though.
No, I understand, and that was a very good field. But when you look at the numbers Christoph has, and I'll give you the ROI too with the numbers on here: 5 for 15, a $4.33 ROI.
What's the ROI? What's the stat?
Second time starters going dirt to turf, maiden special weight sprinting at Naira last 5 years.
Okay.
433 ROI.
Now, but why do we feel like this horse is going to handle the turf? Got a friend or foe dam and a Lionheart sire.
Can't call it.
For a dam that this is her first foal, who was a dirt horse.
Right. Canteros is a 15% though turf sprint horse, so I'll take a.
You know, I'm setting you up, right? The reason you're supposed to think this horse can handle the turf is her second dam was very good on the turf.
Yeah.
No, you had your chance, so don't start with that nonsense. What was her record? Go ahead.
I don't have a record.
Okay, she was 4 for 11. Ran an 88 buyer, I think. She was pretty good. Anyway, she won, I think, $200,000. She was a pretty good turf horse. So there is pedigree, and I don't disagree with you on that. Tariga is the horse to beat. Tariga is also a horse that my friend David Aragona has a personal vendetta against. You know why?
No.
Because he had been waiting to bet Roagna.
Oh, okay.
And she was then with Roagna when she broke her maiden and drew and knocked down the price considerably.
Okay.
And he wanted to bet Roagna. She was very good in here, and this was her sprint.
Yes.
I don't care about her route.
Yeah, no, she did everything right.
She's
but
the horse
here.
to beat off this race.
She did everything
There's
right.
no knock on her in here.
Yeah, no, I don't.
So it's funny because Dave and I were talking about Roagna yesterday morning. We were on the phone. We were talking about her, and then she showed up like it always seems to happen. She's running here on Saturday.
Yeah.
Against Overacting, is that the horse, the Karvich horse? So it's nice to see her back. I have nothing. You've got her second. I've got her third.
Yeah.
I think she's way the horse to beat. I have no knock on her. What about Heavenly Girl? I picked on top. I don't worry about 2-year-old turf figs, and the reason I've taken her is I think she'll be a square enough price because it's not a particularly fast fig, and 2-year-old turf figs improve a lot. And I know that Graham had a trip in here, and Graham was clearly the best horse, but I still thought this horse ran pretty well. She's got a big pedigree, and Dave was reminding me she's a half to. horse that took all the money last year that was pretty good turf spring. She won 2 straight races. Now I forget her name again. So I took her as the other one. 7s, 4s, and 6s for me. Who else should we look at here?
Yeah, I mean, I just threw a little bit of Fit as a Fiddle in there as a firster. Just
Tucking up to Maggie, thinking she'd be back in town. And
yeah, possibly.
where is Maggie? She's not here today.
No, she's not here today. Were they away? Did they go away?
I don't know. I haven't seen Maggie
Yeah.
in so long. I'm
know.
almost forgetting who she is. I was very sad when I saw she wasn't back. Acacia's telling me the horse is a half two. The horse is a half two, a full, the 26 black.
Oh, okay.
Who got very
That was
good
the horse that
sprinting
ran good,
last year.
yeah.
Thank you,
Two
Acacia.
sprints, yeah.
Well, you've got 2 firsters, I think, that should be mentioned. One is Rookie League. I know nothing about this horse. The one thing I would say is a lot of, especially the older first-timers in turf sprints for Chad Brown, don't seem to be as good. He's better with routers. The one's a little interesting. She's got a little bit of turf pedigree, and it's TT, so he's has some turf horses. He's capable of winning with a turf first-time starter, so I wouldn't completely ignore that one either. What about Autumn on the trainer switch? Getting back on the turf.
I feel like that race was like a prep last time, too. It might be better going longer as opposed to going the 6.
Carlos was hoping it wasn't a prep, but in fact, he saw me after the race, and he said, you were right.
It was a
It's
prep.
gonna have to be a prep.
It was a prep.
The problem with that horse is a massive disappointment for Shug. And no
Yeah.
disrespect, Carlos,
But-
you're not Shug, and I think Carlos knows that.
Yeah.
So it's not like you could expect this horse to improve
Yeah,
with
jump
Shug.
up.
And this horse was kind of a disappointment. A lot of people like this horse because there was a feeling that when the horse went down through no fault of her own, she was in a winning position. And so they liked the next time. Well, it turns out she had her chance. She just wasn't
she
very
just
good.
wasn't good
But
enough.
not impossible getting back
No.
to the turf. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Chris, I hope we're going to hear, Eddie, are we going to hear Chris to the result, to this crack? Still working on it.
Still working on it.
You know, this could be personal. It could be personal. I'm not saying it is, but I'm not saying it's not. You, on the other hand, don't have to worry about that. You need to worry about going to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, this is the time. Derby 25. We will give you match of $200 initial deposit and give you a $25 free bet in the Derby, which is just 9 days from today. When they draw it in 2 days. Around 7 o'clock, they draw the Oaks and Derby on Saturday night. You'll be glued to your computer. I'll be coming home in the subway. Also, track stats when you're at Naira Bets. Check them out. Then opt in. So you, too, can bet $100 or more on Keeneland and Aqueduct and get a $20 bonus. Eddie, there you go. Look at that. Woo! Are we fancy?
On fire.
Second to last day, the penultimate day at Keeneland. I'm a little upset. Gabby Godet told me she would call me yesterday, and she didn't. So I'm a little hurt. I haven't decided how I'm going to get back at her, but I'm sure I'll get even somehow. She's a wonderful person. The Friday feeder contests are back because the Saturday contests are back. And the Saturday contests, of course, are a $300 buy-in, but you could start out on Friday by playing the feeder and winning a seat. Check out the information over at nairabets.com/contest. And the big news, the contests are back, and you have until the third race of the day of the contest sign up. So not 5 o'clock the day before, and last, but definitely not least. I'm not saying it's foremost, but not least. FS2, 1 to 5 today. All the action from here. Paul, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Chris, I don't know if we're going to hear you at all today, but if we do, I'm sure it'll be brilliance. We're done. See you.
Yeah.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.